We're live.
Hey, hello everybody. I'm Matt Curran and I'm with Jason Deal. How are you, Jason?
Matt, I'm great, man. How are you?
And we're going to talk about capitalizing on opportunity. And this is a speaker highlight for our Entrepreneurs Unite coming up this week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And guess what, man? You're the closer of this thing. You're the man that's coming in to close this thing out. There's a little pressure on you because
No
when a
pressure.
closer comes in, man, you got to close it out, right?
Hey, man, that's okay. That's okay. I've been in a lot of pressure in my life, Matt.
That's right. A little combat. It's nothing compared to the combat, that we've both been in, for
That's
sure.
exactly right.
That's right. So, hey, let's talk about capitalizing on opportunity and how you have to pivot. So let's just get into a conversation about that because I think this is something that it has to happen right now. We have to have, we're seeing some people doing it, some people aren't doing it. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so Matt, I mean, here's the deal. So, and we talked about it just a second ago. I spent 20 years in the Army. I own and operate a real estate and auction company right now. And through to include you, in our adult life, we have learned, it's a learned behavior to maintain situational awareness in
Yep.
order to be able to capitalize on whatever opportunity is in front of you. And oh yeah, by the way, to be a good business leader, you got to be able to kind of forecast, right?
Absolutely.
And one of the ways you do that is you got to watch consumer behavior, and you have to really understand what consumer behavior is doing in order to be able to pre-plan and position your company or move into another sector and be able to capitalize on that as it unfolds. Quite frankly.
Yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately, everybody's having to do it right now in most ways. I mean, restaurants, it just goes on and on. And so, you're either finding a way to pivot or you're not pivoting, right? And so, and for us as me being a retired Marine, you being retired Army, we always talked about adaptability, flexibility, right? That was the big thing for us because nothing ever goes down as planned. Once you're into the heat of the battle, you better be ready to adapt and flex and change your plan because if you don't, it's going to go bad for you. Right.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on right now. That's
Absolutely.
what we're having to do.
Absolutely. And the sad thing about it is, Matt, is a lot of people got caught working.
Yeah.
Right. They got caught working when COVID-19 happened, and they got caught working in their business instead of working on your business. And it's so important to maintain situational awareness. And I'm going to give you a really small example. If you can get online right now, I've got a website that's www.jasondeal. That's just the way my name is spelled on the screen.com.
Yeah.
If you go to that website right now, you know where it's going to take you?
What's that?
It's going to take you to register for Convene Community's Business Unite event.
Look at that.
But why is it doing that right now? Why did I turn my website off in order to take it over to Convene Communities? Because I feel like I can capitalize on the opportunity right now.
Absolutely.
Right? And oh yeah, by the way, I'm a team player. So, and it's easy for me to tell people to go to jasondeal.com and get registered. If you're a small business owner, you got to do it. So it's easier versus saying go to convenecommunities.com/, right? But I'm capitalizing on opportunities, what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, it's just simple stuff. It's simple stuff like that.
It is simple stuff, and you know what? It's about teamwork. And I just sent an email out about to all the speakers that are speaking on it, and I said, hey, we have 15 incredible speakers, right? And 15 people from all over the world. We're all the way from South Africa to South Dakota, and I said in the email, I said, hey, you're there to support each other. We're there to support each other. So don't just stay on or be there for your time slot. Make sure that you're there for everybody's time slot. Make sure you're there supporting each other and making those connections.
That's right. Well, and as well as I do, knowledge is power. Mm-hmm. And I guarantee you, I don't care how long you've been in business, you're going to learn something, even if it's just one small nugget from every one of the speakers. Because what a lineup, man! How in the world I'm involved in this thing, I have no idea.
But you're the closer, man. So you got to come in and close.
No, I mean, I'll make it happen like always. But really, I mean, we've got speakers from South Africa. We've got speakers. We got a lady who grew up in England, moved to Australia. Now she's in California. right? I mean, we got
Yeah.
some world-class speakers coming up here. So, and it's free, I think. Is that
Yeah,
right?
it's definitely free. But here's the thing, it's free because we're trying to spread the goodness right now. We're trying to bring quality to everybody, right? Bring quality to everybody so they can learn and grow and make that pivot on the backside. And this, you're
Yeah.
part of Convene. You're a big part of Convene. You're there. So there's opportunity that for anybody and everybody at this point in time. And so, you'll hear me talk about it as speakers, as businesses, small business owners, and what's your leave behind? How are you going to keep people involved? And so that's the goal here, is to bring quality to the table, but then walk away and keep doing business with each other.
No, it's brilliant, man. I mean, it's exactly right. And I'll try not to say a whole lot right now, since this is kind of just a bit of a teaser, if you will. But hopefully I can bring some value. I used to tell my soldiers all the time is, what value are you bringing to the fight?
Yeah.
So hopefully and this is all, I'm going to be talking about experienced level things from experience, because we all learn from experiences. And I want to talk about that in particularly. I'll overlay some experiences with how I've been able to capitalize on some opportunities. And then, of course, give you some things to think about, no matter what business you're in. It doesn't matter, Matt. If you're in the service industry, if you're in the product industry, it doesn't matter. But what's important is you've got to understand consumer behavior awareness. And then, by the way, what does your brand look like?
Right? Yeah. We'll talk about that, because I've watched you, kind of, I don't want to say change your brand, but you've gone through a process of really, with your business, kind of rebranding and going through a process of growth. And, I've been paying attention, watching this happen over the last year. So talk about that.
Yeah, Matt, I think I mentioned it, that I own an auction and real estate company. But fact of the matter is, I have turned our company into a media company. Yeah. And if you're scratching your head right now, if you're watching this, because we got a few live viewers watching, and you're wondering, why would an auction and real estate company want to be a media company? Because we're all after one thing. No matter what business that you're in, Matt, it doesn't matter, but you're after the same thing that I'm after, and that's attention.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
You're after attention. Without the consumer's attention, you're not going to be able to sell your product, and you're certainly not going to be able to offer your service. So with COVID, as it came about, it was a natural ramp anyway. And we started it, believe it or not, about 2 to 3 months before COVID hit. And then it just naturally snowballed because a lot of people were at home anyway. But understanding how to bring that content at scale to people's living room is so easy. Yeah. But people think it's difficult, right? They want to be perfect. They want to say, wait a minute, hang on, everything looks straight here. No,
that's right.
I don't care, Matt. I don't care if you got a hat on and you got hair. It's whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because people want to see who Matt Curran is, and they want to see who Jason Dill is and what you're about.
Yeah. So I'll tell you this, and that's one of the things that's been great for me and some of this, and the rebranding is just what you just said. Like, I've had multiple people say, the reason why they are at Convene and they're part of Convene is because of who I am as a person, right? And I think it's the same thing as you, because who you are as a person and all the things that you've done as, a veteran, and all the honesty that when, I watch you do your videos, and I watch some of your live auctions and all that, and you're genuine and you're who you are. And that's what it has to be. I had a lady that watched, reviewed my website a long time ago. And this was when I got out of the Marine Corps, and I was a pilot, right? There's pilot stuff all behind me. So I was a pilot, and I was standing there. It was one of the greatest lessons of my life. And I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting at this table, and I had this button up shirt on, right? And I'm sitting there, and this man, we were military vets, right? So I'm sitting there, and I'm like this, and I'm uncomfortable. And this lady reviewed my website, and she said to me, excuse me for saying this. She goes, but, and I hope I don't offend you, but she said, who the heck is that? And she looked at me and she goes, that dude looks so uncomfortable. And why would I ever want to go watch him speak? Because I do a lot of speaking, public speaking and talking and all that. And she goes, what are you? What have you done your whole life? She goes, you're a veteran and you're a pilot. So be a pilot and be who you are. And so that's right. So a lot of times when I, go out and I speak in a flight suit because that's what I do. I mean, that's my credibility, and so it's who you are. So I agree with that.
Yeah, well, it's ever so important right now because, and we're talking about a lot of different things right now, which is fine by me, but, maybe we have a new normal now, Matt, I mean, potentially we have a new normal. It was already so important that if someone was looking, for example, a real estate company or an auction company, that you looked the part. I don't want to say looked the part, but you had a presence online. Right, you had to at least have a presence online because the National Association of Realtors released a survey last year that 93% of people who bought a home last year found it first online. And by the way, when they found it, they also when they sold their home, they did the same thing. They found their realtor online. They didn't open the phone book. They didn't even ask their friends, believe it or not. They found it online first. So just a small example of how at scale, if you can do organic content and then throw some paid ads behind it, it's, and then be ready to react, right? Be ready to react to capitalizing on whatever that maybe just came up in front of you.
Well, talk about real quick, not getting too deep, but let's talk about you and one of the things that we talked about, capitalizing on opportunity, right? How did this time frame change your business? Because I know we've talked about how many auctions you had planned and how you had to do it, how you had to pivot.
Yeah. So actually, it's opened up a few things that I don't know if I'm prepared to talk about yet, because I'm actually going to start a new vertical, Matt, a new business opportunity. I think it's going to happen pretty soon. I have probably spent more time over the last 6 weeks helping other auction companies get online and helping them not close their doors.
Yeah.
That became, as you know, you and I were cut from the same cloth. It's important for us to be able to help people just simply because that's what we're used to. And we kind of grew up in the Army and in the Marine Corps doing that. So that became important to us. So I've spent a lot of time really helping people get to where, I don't want to say get to where we are, but certainly getting them online, building awareness for the online auction community.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing that's really big time change. Now we had to implement some just crazy weird, social distancing things for picking up, merchandise and things like that. And then re-looking how we do live events, because an auction, if you're watching this and maybe you've never been to an auction, but at a live auction, it's really an event. There's a lot of things going on. There's people talking fast. There's homes being sold. There's food over here with a food truck, and there's, potentially even the music and game. I mean, it can become really and truly an event. But taking a look at that and seeing if that's changing forever. I don't think live auctions will ever die. There'll always be a place for a live auction. But maybe how we do them is getting adjusted a little bit. So, again, analyzing consumer behavior.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what I've been doing. That's the crux of it, is what I've been doing is watching how consumers are behaving over these last 4 to 6 weeks, and then being able to react like that to it.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree with you more. And again, you're looking at everybody's trying to get online right now because you don't have a choice, right? We're all getting online. But again, I'll ask you, what's your leave behind? How are you going to continue that business, And so in some of the pivot that we're making, yes, we have live summit after live summit after live summit after live summit, right? The key thing for Convene is, what are you walking away with? Well, you're walking away with the platform. You're walking away with the platform. You can train people. You can communicate, collaborate with inside of your own area, right? And a lot of those people are going to go into your community that you're a part of Convene with, Convene Small Business, right? So that's a key thing. That's a growth possibility that we're really looking forward to.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's important, I think. In our industry, I have seen more auctioneers come together than ever before. And I'm gonna tell you something, Matt. It's lonely being an entrepreneur, right? It's
Yeah.
lonely. I mean,
Yeah.
really, it is. It's almost like being a company commander again.
Yeah, that's right.
Freaking lonely, man. You got a first sergeant. That's about it.
Yeah.
And right now, you got a wife or a husband or a significant other. That's about it. So it's important to have a community to be able to talk to, ask questions to, bounce ideas off of, share experiences. And I think we've kind of found that with Convene. Right? I mean, it's kind of a really cool. If you don't know anybody in your industry, if you're just getting started, whatever, and then you can obviously the summit's going to be killer, man.
Well, one of the things that we're doing with inside the community, inside the Entrepreneurs Unite Back to the Basics group, is we're going to put a group inside of that, and the group is going to be about your pivot. What's your pivot? And so we're asking people that come onto the event to go in there and interact, and then we're asking the speakers, yourself and others, to go back into that group in the discussion boards and interact back with the people who are asking the questions or talking about, as business owners, how have you pivoted? Let's learn from each other. And that's what you and I are so used to, right? Yeah, we're used to that AAR, that action. You go out, you go do your mission, you come back, you debrief it. Once you debrief it, you're like, okay, how can we do it better? What can we do to be more successful on the next time? Well, now we got a shared learning environment. So there's people out there doing great things. That's what these 15 speakers, to include yourself, are going to be doing. You're bringing value about, hey, right now at this time, how can you succeed?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And I think, Matt, what we do is we get a little too caught up in working in our business.
Yep.
Because business transactions are happening. If you're a landscaping company, guess what? You're trying to make sure you secure the landscaping jobs today, and you're making sure make sure there's fuel in the lawnmowers, and you're absolutely in the trenches, and you're working in it, and you're making it happen. You're making it happen, but are you working on it? Let's talk to a landscaping company. They want a business coach essentially, and she's ready to take on 100 new clients. I'm like, okay, what are you doing? What we've been cutting a lot of lawn. Okay, but how are you working? What's your plan of attack? Well, we don't really have one. Okay, so let's start at ground zero. I'm gonna give you some easy wins. First thing let's make a video, right? Let's do something that's organic, that's free, and you want to talk about some leave behinds, dude. If I'm a landscaping company, you want to see my leave behind? You're gonna go to jasondeallandscaping.com, and you're gonna see before and after photos everywhere and videos everywhere.
That's right,
dude. It's gonna you'll be blown away by what the things that we can do. And oh yeah, by the way, you can easily share that to your mom, to your brother, to your sister. When you do that, you're going to get a discount, or you're going to get some sort of incentive, right? But I'm capitalizing because I'm watching consumer behaviors, and right now, consumer behaviors are talking about the business that you're already using or the service that you're already using, and then so we got to make it easy to share that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We don't want to give it all away. We just gave a lot away, but still, it's a very valuable conversation. And we could go on all day and talk about it, and we will. And see, here's the you just said this. So I want to just point out this one thing. Entrepreneurs Unite, Back to the Basics. 15 incredible speakers. When I say 15 incredible speakers, we got people with knowledge coming on here. And guess what? Because of what we've already put out, the information we've already put out about Entrepreneurs Back to the Basics. Number one, we already have number two lined up because of the quality of people that are on number one, right? So we're already setting up for number two, right? But the key thing is what will we be doing the whole time that we are, doing the event? We'll be recording it. We'll be breaking down everybody's 15 pieces of content. That's 15 pieces of resellable content or content that we can put in there to drive more traffic. And that's exactly what you're talking about.
That's right. That's exactly right. Matt, you want to talk about capitalizing opportunity? What are we doing right now? We're recording this call. What do you think Jason's deal is going to do with this? I'm going to chop it up in several pieces. You're going to see it over on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Over the next 10 days, you're going to see some random pieces.
Yeah.
Because you got to think about it. You got to be thinking about how you're capitalizing.
You do.
Yeah.
Grayson Marshall Grayson Marshall Jr., one of the main, one of the speakers on here. He's, Clemson basketball player, ACC Hall of Famer, big entrepreneur. He talked about, I did one of these with him, and he said, entrepreneurs, if you're thinking about one stream of income, you're missing the boat.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. If you're thinking about just one, if you're thinking linear, just one, you're missing the boat. You have to be thinking about, at a minimum, 7 or 8. You have to be spreading yourself out. And that's what you're doing. It just impresses me,
Yeah.
I won't say that I look to Army guys as somewhat of a mentor, but, I'll keep that to myself. But, here it is. It's 8:45 on a Saturday night, and we're still grinding.
That's it, man. You have to grind. Now, you obviously, you got to have a balance, but your balance looks a lot different than my balance, and mine and your balance looks a lot different than the people that are watching's balance right now. And that's okay. You just got to find that, but you can't be afraid to grind, man. 8:43 on a Saturday night. That's okay.
Well, what is that? What is that? What's the name of your talk? Right? Capitalizing on opportunity.
Right.
You got to grind. When it's time to sprint, you got to sprint.
That's right.
We're in a sprint, and we're building up for the marathon.
Absolutely.
Yep. Man, I think this was awesome. I'm glad we did it. I don't care what time it is, any time of day, man. I love talking to you about stuff. Listen, everybody, you're talking to the closer right here. The closer of the event. He'll be coming on. He'll be closing it out. And the reason why he's doing that is because of, his experience, right? His experience and all the great things that Jason is doing in business and all the differences that he's not making. You're not just making it for yourself. You're not just focused on yourself, Jason. That's one of the things I love about you, is that you're not just pouring into yourself. You're pouring into others, and you're helping others succeed. And that's what we have to do right now. We have to help others succeed. And I think that's the mission of Convene Small Business, Convene Auctioneers, just bringing people together. Let's bring people together. Let's help people succeed. And especially in this time, it's not easy, but we can do it. Right. Close it out. What do you got to say?
That's it, man. I'm looking forward to next week. I think it's going to be a great 3 days. If you have time, tune in, because one question for you, I guess, Matt, is there going to be an opportunity for viewers to do any kind of Q&A? Can we do any kind of Q&A at all?
Yeah. So let me tell you this. So each speaker will come up and you'll speak, and then after you speak or while you speak, you'll do your speaking part or interview. I'll be interviewing quite a lot of people, and we'll do the interview, and then we'll open that up to Q&A. So there'll be at least 15 minutes of Q&A with each speaker at the end of their time. So speak, Q&A, then that'll be how we're rolling. So it'll be good. So make sure you got to be tuning in, because if you want to get the real deal and the answers from these speakers, be there. We have people who've done TED Talks, like I said, South of Africa, South Dakota, LA, UK. It's been amazing to watch the people signing up coming in. There's people that have signed up. Go to Jason Deal and sign up, jasondeal.com, because there are people that are signing up from all over the world. It's just amazing to me. So.
That's awesome. No, it's going to be cool. Yeah, for real. Be sure to tune in, because I always look forward to anytime I'm a guest speaker or a keynote. I love the Q&A, because I want to be able. You can be selfish. You can ask questions, because I'll talk a lot of macro stuff, but we'll certainly I'll be selfish and ask specific questions. So looking forward to it, man. I'm excited.
Man, it's going to be awesome. Thanks for getting on here with me on a Saturday night. Taking your time. So appreciate it. All right, guys. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you this week.